time, and violence ain't gonna get us nowhere. It's just gonna get somebody more time, and it's gonna get you caught up. So what we decided to do is to flood the tier. So we all get together and we set a time, and that we're gonna flood the tier, and we release the bottom tier first, so the officers come in, and as the officers come in, we let the second tier off, and then we let the third tier off. And at first it was just a Mexican thing, but as the blacks realized what was going on, they joined in, and it was full on flood, just fucking mess, man. Fucking some of the officers, they got splashed or something, like sprinkled them and all that bullshit, and they were fucking pissed because obviously the water's coming from the toilet, so I would have been pissed too, but they were fucking pissed. So what they do, they grab, they pick out a few people and they move them to the other side, the other building. When we go to the other building, they're like, okay, we're gonna make this overflow hole. We're gonna put cages in, and this is gonna be more and more like a hole. Okay, well, that's fine. As they're doing that, now we're asking for yard. So what they do, they put up a cage outside. The cage could fit maybe like 10, 15 people safely, but they decided only to let one person out at a time when there's over 3, maybe 400 people in the building. So we're like, what's going on now? So we come up with another plan where we're gonna have our homies. It was our homies hold the cage hostage, and as they hold the cage hostage, I'm coming out from the shower, and I tell everybody, nobody is to speak. If they want to talk to somebody, send them my way. And that's how it was. And because of that, we got cages put up, and they started bringing out, I believe it was 10 people out. They put 3 cages up with, I believe it was 10 people in each cage. But that ended up biting me in the ass, because I believe it was 2002, on my birthday, 12/8, December 8th, I believe it was 2002. I have a batch of pruner ready. Wake up early in the morning, I'm like, yeah, today's gonna be a good day. I'm gonna get my drink on. It's gonna be as good as it can get in the situation that we're in. You're trying to make the best of it. At some point, I'll be cutting this video up and chopping it up and maybe labeling it with titles to put it on the channel. It's gonna be something like Lou West or Worldwide West Side or something like that. You know what's up? And so yeah, that's what we're gonna do. So now it's my birthday, December 8th. I believe it's 2002. I get up. Like I said, it's gonna be a good day. I start washing my clothes. I'm about to jump in the bird bath, take a quick shower, and then my cellie do the same. Well, as I'm washing the thing, they open up the cell door. Now this is overflow hole, so it doesn't have trace lots. They have to open up the door, to talk to us or whatever they want to do, at least to talk to us clearly. Well, they thought they were gonna catch us by surprise or something, but my cellie, that motherfucker, he was from Dopey from Los Angeles. Fool was on his toes. That fool popped up real quick, just flexed up on him like, "What's up? What you want? What you need?" Ooh, they fucking shut the door, man, really quick. They were like, "Hey, man, you guys need to cuff up." And we're like, "For what?" We're like, "We caught you guys fishing blades on the tier." And we're like, "What, motherfucker? My son's been on this bunk reading. I've been washing my clothes." I was like, "When you fucked out, it's fucked up." They're like, "Need to cuff up right now." So I'm trying to think of something as fast as I can. So I fucking board up. As I'm boarding up, it comes to me, to my realization that in the Title 15, which is supposedly the rule book they go by, supposedly, that it says that we have the right to watch and search ourselves, or to request a sergeant or something like that. So what I do, I request the sergeant. I said, "Look, man, I want to speak to the sergeant now. And second of all, we have the right to watch you guys search yourself, in case with that funny shit," which they are, but, the fuck. You only have so much you could do. So they had no choice because we were boarded up. We covered the windows. At this time, I'm fucking drinking fucking Pruno with fruit in there. I'm spitting that shit out, spitting the fruit out, just drinking. My celly fucking At the time, I didn't really pop pills, but he was like, "Here's some pills." So I'm like, "Fuck it, man. We going all out right now. We don't know what's gonna happen." So by the time the sergeant comes, we fucking finished the wine. We're faded. We fucked up. They pull us out. I'm like, I tell them what's up. Like, hey, yeah, we have a right to watch you guys search yourself. And he's like, yeah, you guys are right. So we're out there standing, trying to watch them search yourself, but I'm fucked up, so I don't even know what the fuck's going on. Anyways, they move us from there to the real hole, which is K-Wing. And they hit me with some fucking blade charges that we were fishing some blades. And I'm like, motherfucker, we weren't fishing no blades. And that's when I realized that, oh man, this shit's getting deep here. So I go to committee, which is the board supposedly trying to decide what's going on. Oh, no. First of all, I go to the 115 hearing, which they're supposed to. It's like a mini trial to decide whether you're guilty or not. Fucking bullshit. Whatever the cop says, you're guilty. Doesn't matter. They have it set up where the word preponderance of evidence, which means if it looks like you did it, you did it. And what does it take for you to look like you did it? For an officer to say that you did it. That's that. You're done with it. Over. Gone. And now you're headed to the motherfucking shoe to become a big boy. So I go in there and the lady's like, yeah, you're guilty. I'm like, how am I guilty? The guy said that he was walking from over here, far over here, and that he's seen my cell. You can't even see myself from wherever he said he was at. Anyways, it's kangaroo court. Can't do nothing about it. I was hot. I was so fucking pissed. I was like teared up, mad. Like, man, at that time I was having problems controlling my anger. And that was like the first sign that you didn't want to be near me. You see some tears rolling up in my eyes. I'm about to start taking flight. And so yeah, they don't give a fuck. Guilty, you're going to the shoe. And the story. In the meanwhile, the homies put me down to the bottom tier with all the fellas that I know. The homie I told you about, Tigre from Vado Pobre, good ass person, fucking drunk but good ass person. And the homie boxer from West Side Wimas, not Boxhead, the little one, short one, dark one, good people. But he been in the Bay. He did in the Bay like 10, 12, 15 years, who knows. And there was a northerner right next to him. At the time, he was calling himself Tweety from Tracy, but he went by Sylvester. He went by another name. Excuse me. He was also been in the Bay for a long time. And there was also some dude, I believe his name was Mumbles from Lowrider Nazis. And so this fool was communicating with the homie boxer from Wimas. And I told you we're at war with the Northerners. It's just we're on site. They're on the tier disrespecting, talking about that's their house, and pretty much they're doing what they want. Although they're not talking shit like while during the rest of the day. When they're sounding off, they're saying these things, and so they're pretty much declaring war on us. When we already know it's war, we know that we're not supposed to be cell soldiers and be talking shit from behind, but they took the opportunity during the workout routine to take it to another level. So, we conversate with them on the tier cordially, and, they're our enemies, but, we're also people, and we also need to talk to people, and shit, we talking to them just like they're talking to us, and we don't really pass kites and stuff between us, but at the time, some coffee, you need some coffee, here's some coffee. We're human beings, but, there's two sets of rules there, man. There's the human rules, and then, the lies that we've been telling ourselves, which at the time I didn't know, though, and so yeah, so we're living double lives right there, like we know that you're somebody, you're someone, you're human and shit, and we're talking to you, but the door's open, and shit, you gotta do what you gotta do. It's just the game of survival, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. Somebody made the rules up, and I guess we just blindly decided to follow them. And shit, I ain't gonna lie, a lot of us had fun doing it, though, at a young age you did. So anyways, the Lowrider Nazi, I guess he fucking starts popping the fence, the rings on the fence that are holding the fence closed. And he starts, getting with one of my homeboys and telling him, hey, we got this plan where we're going to open the fence. So the homeboy's like, okay, we're going to open the fence. and we're gonna run in their yard, and we're gonna go get it. All of us, we're gonna get all of them, and it's just gonna be on. Fuck it, full on rumble. Well, um, we would exchange yards. Every other yard, we would change sides of yard, and obviously the hole was only on one side. So one day we're at yard, and I fucking noticed these dudes lining up on the fence. So I tell the homies, like, hey, fool, keep your eyes and ears open. These dudes are lining up on the fence. Shit's looking funny. So sure enough, almost close to the end of the yard, these dudes, I hear them kicking the fence. They're making the hole bigger. So now we're on our P's and Q's. We know what's up. It's gonna go down at any moment. Well, the door cracks so they open the fence one person at a time. Open it, close it. You go cuff up. You go in. They open it again. So only one. They open the fence for a short time, and then they close it, and then you're out there by yourself until you get cuffed up. Well, we're waiting. We're waiting the whole time. Like, fucking, who's gonna be? Who's gonna be? It's gonna be me. Is it gonna be you? It's getting short now. There's like 2 of us left. And to the last homie, just me and the homie from Boxer from Weimar. And we don't know. We're looking at each other like, hey, fool. I leave. When I tell that fool, I was like, hey, fool, be careful. Good luck, bro. So he comes out. We're inside. I'm on top, and I'm in the holding cage getting stripped down and checked for weapons and stuff. And yeah, as soon as I go up there in the cage, I hear the alarm go off. Fucking hot, man. I'm like, fuck, these fools got him. These fools got him. And these northerners come up and they pass my holding cell. They're fucking laughing. And in the cage I am in happens to have bars in it. They didn't have grape. So I fucking threw the bar. I socked that fool in the back of the ear. Because that fool was laughing and I was hurt because the dude was a good guy. He was older, he would teach me things like a mentor type person. So that shit hit me in the heart. I was like fucking pissed, man. This fool was laughing. So we all go back to the cell and we're all fucking quiet. All the homies are quiet. Everybody's quiet, actually. And we're all fucking worried. The homie got shipped out in an ambulance. And then we hear his fucking voice like 30 minutes later. He's fucking laughing and we're like, hey, fool, you alright? He's like, yeah, just had a fucking few scratches and that's it. And we'll come to find out, 10 fools rushed this fool. He was cuffing up. And he was cuffing up. Hold on. And before he put his second hand in the cuff, these fools ran out on him, 10 fools with knives and razor blades. Well, he didn't cuff his second hand up, so he had his hands free. And just with his own hands, and box these fools out. Beam, 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 beam. Fuck these fools up. And these fools had knives and razor blades, man. That fool had like a scratch right here and a scratch right here. That's it. Meanwhile, their homies got fucked up. Their oldest homie had a big ass black eye. That fool was on the shine from his own homies. 10 fools, and this fool fucked them up. I gave him credit. I couldn't leave that story out because that shit was a good story, Yeah. So now I'm going to the fucking shoe. Get to the shoe, man. We got these dudes. These officers, they think they're tough, man. You get out the fucking you get out the motherfucking the bus, and there's like, whoa, chill. And there's like 3 motherfuckers jump on you, put your arms out, snatch you up, rough you up, like try to show you that they're in control and shit. And I had seen this already because I passed through Tracy to drop some people off. I believe I don't know when it was, but I had gone through and seen that. I had passed through Corcoran and seen that before. Now we're going to Old Corcoran shoe. So when we roll there, I'm ready for this. And I know that this is going to happen. So I'm not scared. But I come with a homie from the west side too, which I didn't get along with. But fool think he was tough though. And I can see that fool was shitting, man. That fool was shitting fucking bricks, man. I was fucking inside. I was laughing and shit. But I was just peeping game to see how it goes down. And sure enough, we go in there. They're winding us. And They make the fucking wand beep on them, and that fool scared shitless. They're clowning that fool, but anyway. So in Corcoran it's different, because in Corcoran, the cops, they're fucking hardcore, man. They stick together, and they got their own thing going on right there. You fuck around and fuck with them, you fuck with one of them, you gonna fuck with like 10 of these motherfuckers, and they'll get you too. They'll catch you in the cuss, they'll set you up. It's all bad, man. All bad. So we get in there. Now these motherfuckers are starving us. They're giving us small portions, and I tell you, small portion. I'm like maybe like this much of eggs, and this much potatoes. Like they're starving the shit out of us. So you know, there's not much we could do in Corcoran. You know, it's a different story. I can't just make my own decisions on like what to do and how to do it, because obviously you got big homies that live on that yard, and they're gonna be directly affected by any moves that you make there. But we would 602 them, and sometimes we'll catch flack from the officers for 602 them, and sometimes we'll catch flack from our own homies for 602 them that we're fucking up the program and all this shit. So what I realized later though is they were trying to flush me out. What I mean by that is they started starving us. They started not giving us our lunch until nighttime. Um, they would turn off the hot water during the winter time. They would turn the so there would be like a week, sometimes be 3 days, sometimes be a week with no hot water, and it's fucking freezing cold. In the summer, no AC, and so they were um, they were using war tactics like the laws of the war. How's it go? Attrition. You know, so they'll starve you to make you fold to their what they wanted you to do. That would using psychological warfare by not providing hot water, by not providing just regular air during the summer when we're getting like into the hundreds some degrees inside of a cell, two people in close proximity. Um, they'll take yard away from us, and this whole time, when I could and I could, or they'll hold mail back from us so we wouldn't hear it from our loved ones. They'll purposely hold mail back from you for weeks at a time. So when I could, we'd do 602s, and sometimes I wouldn't sign the 602s because I realized that I was, slowly becoming a target of the system. And for example, like one time I was on the yard, and while I was on the yard, we were trying to get the officer's attention. And he wouldn't come. So I had the homeboy whistle. And the homeboy whistle, the cop came out like, "Who the fuck you whistling at? You think I'm a motherfucking dog and shit?" Well, I asked him to whistle, so I took blame for it. So they kept me out there. He's like, "I'm gonna get you right now." I was like, "All right, fuck it, you're gonna get me." So he kept me out there to the nighttime past program hours, and that doesn't look well upon me. Like, what am I doing out there? Nobody could see me. I'm out there by myself. That leaves me open to the cops saying that, oh, this fool's snitching, or he's out there talking to the cops, obviously snitching, and so they'll do other things like, we already had set there. You had set cell moves. You have to the homies can't refuse cellies, but what we do, we set up like, hey, I want to move in with this fool, and we'll work it out beforehand because we knew that we were in a position where we couldn't refuse cellies. So what they did, they moved me out of a comfortable home. I was living with another homie, Gizmo, from Barrio Pobre, but Long Beach this time. And I ended up doing going on a mission, fucking mission that cost me fucking 3 extra years in prison, a 6-year term, 3 extra years in prison, 2 years of court. Nothing good. But I let my ego get to me, and other fools, trying to test my gangster or whatever you want to call it, test my ego or whatever they were doing. But my own homies, trying to, just how it goes. You got some good guys and you got some bad guys, and it's just sometimes the luck of a draw. It's it just positions that you're put in. It sometimes you make the wrong decision, or sometimes you're put in the wrong situation, and you couldn't do anything about it. And to be honest, I was just young and I made the wrong decisions. So I ended up going on a mission. Somebody gets stabbed. He gets hurt bad and stuff. I ended up going to court. Well, now they moved me out of they chose me out of everybody to separate from my cellie, which we weren't doing. No, that was never happening before. So I don't realize what's going on. I'm like, what the fuck? Why are you picking me out of everybody to separate us? What they're doing, they're fucking picking on me. But I didn't look at it like that at the time. It took me a while to realize that these fools were singling me out. Everything I did, every move I made, they were singling me out because I was fighting. Um, I was fighting what they were doing, which what they were doing was wrong. But they didn't look at it like that. They looked at it like, they could do what they want because they were the authority, which is not true. Don't believe that. Everybody has to answer up to somebody, and just they had to answer up to me, and they didn't like it. And now they were getting this confused from the beginning with me being something that I wasn't. Like connected to people that I wasn't connected to. So that's when I go back to when I said they were trying to flush me out because of the things that I was accused of since the beginning, since day one, since I picked up my charge to the things that were happening as my life progressed and my time in prison progressed. I was the common denominator when things didn't go correct or the way that the officers wanted it to go. So they started realizing that, I was becoming a thorn in their side. That they want to look at it like I was causing problems, but I wasn't causing problems. I was just asking them to follow the same rules they wanted us to follow, and they didn't like that, and they didn't like that at all. So what they would do, they would send me, throw me in cells with, I don't know if they were snitches or what, or people that they know were known for fighting their cellies or bullying their cellies and shit. But at the time I was still lightweight, probably like 150, 140. But I grew up fighting, and I'm not the baddest motherfucker, but I ain't one that you just gonna roll over either, and I ain't gonna roll over on nobody. So so they were picking on me. I had a cell move set up, and they pulled me out. They knew I was supposed to move in with somebody else. So we talked. The homies, I talked to them beforehand, and they pulled me out to move me in with somebody else. They pulled me out to move me in with this dude that was a known bully. The dude was big, man, and this fool was a known bully, and he was known not only by the cops, but the homies knew this fool was a bully. And he would bully his cellies. He had a history for, he got checked on the yard for it, but they didn't even do nothing. They fucking, not even a fucking, I think he had one chipotle, one little fucking bump, and that was it. And so they pretty much forced me to move into it with him. But when I went down there the first time, I thought I was gonna move back in with my old celly Gizmo because he went on a mission too. We were supposed to hook back up because they were really cool, man. We used to play chess and we used to just get down really firme, real good. So they forced me to move in with this dude, and at first I told him like, nah, we already had agreed that this other dude was my celly before. You guys were gonna move me back in. That was stated from the beginning when you guys separated me, and then the homies had already talked about it. So they went and told the homie that I refused the celly. So the homie was starting to trip on me now. Like, what you doing? And, pretty much the cop had that fool brainwashed and, was listening to what he was saying. So I was like, all right, whatever. Fucking, I bust down your fucking burpees, whatever. I didn't do them all, man. But just with this telling him all right, I guess he felt like I bent to his will and he was okay with it. But, you win some, you lose some. So I was like, all right, I'll take this one as a loss, And I told him, okay, cool, bro, And the other homie that I knew from before, he's like, hey, bro, before you cross words with this dude, you should have just rolled me, and I was gonna fix the problem. But my high head led me to, into a back and forth with that dude, and so, he ended up winning that one. But anyways, the point of the story is the cops throwing this dude. It's a known bully. The dude's bigger than me, He looked intimidating to other people, but he wasn't intimidating to me. He came in there with a knife, but he didn't let me know he had a knife. He had it there for a couple of days, and then he decided the homies had wanted me to have this, but I'm gonna shoot it out now. I don't want it no more. So then that started leading me to believe like, what the fuck? This fool coming in here with a knife? That means that he was coming in there ready to stab me or something. You don't just come in with a knife and just from one day to the next, like, oh, no, I don't want it no more, and just pass it on. Like, that's not how the shit works. Like, So I was like, what the fuck is going on there, And so this fool's a bully. He ends up trying to convince me to start going against the grain with the homies, and was just talking some nonsense like that I didn't like, and it pretty much was some snitch shit, and I wasn't down with, and I was just contemplating what I was gonna do or how I was gonna do it or what should I do. I was still young. I'm like 19, 20 now, but I was still young. I haven't figured everything out yet. And so one day we're getting drunk, and I end up eating my chips, and I don't even know I eat my chips. So I stole that fool's chips. I ate them in front of him though. I didn't just do it on the back. So I'm not sure if it was that day or another day. This fool wants to go body with me. So I was like, all right, you want to go body with me? Come on. Let's do this shit. Because he was bigger. He thought he was going to be intimidating to me or some shit. I was like, man, fuck that. Let's go. So I was like, all right, go ahead. So that fool starts punching me. I just square up and hold tight and let that fool sock me a few times. And I was like, man, that's it. Bam. I give him one shot. Motherfucking like a liver shot, kidney shot, whatever. I pick him up off his feet, and that fool was like, I'm good, bro. That fool tapped out. I went to court like 2 days later. When I came back, all that fool shit was gone out of my cell. Done with. I was like, what the fuck? Fool locked it up. So I was like, something ain't sitting right there. That shit was weird. He came in there with a knife. He's trying to convince me to fold, start telling or something, to go against the grain. I'm like, you see, this the shit I'm talking about here. Anyways, I don't know if this is in order, but I end up moving with somebody else. This dude's gonna move out. He's gonna go stab somebody. They had agreed to stab each other, and I didn't know about this until later. So he agrees to stab somebody. He agrees to stab somebody. The day of the moving, they're supposed to move in together. The officers come rushing the cell, and he's like, "Oh man, I got a fucking knife." And I'm like, "Oh fuck, man, fuck. What am I gonna do?" So I go up, I block the window with my blanket. I'm just doing the best I can, hoping that this fool. I thought he was gonna hoop the fucking thing. It's his fucking knife. I thought he was gonna hoop the fucking knife. Nah, this fool tucks it in his pillow. Nothing. This fool's a good home and everything, but that was the wrong thing to do. He tucks it in his fucking in his pillow or some shit like that. Well, they already know he got the knife because the dude that he was gonna move in fucking snitched. So they come in, they find a knife, they hit me with another knife charge. It's not mine. I knew nothing about till they came. They separate us immediately. They sent me to fucking 4804 or some shit on C Yard, Corcoran, the bulldog yard, on the bulldog yard. We have a hole right there, and well, come to find out, this fool owns up to the 115 and tell me that, look, that fool didn't know nothing about it. That was my knife. It's my charge. I take full responsibility. Well, since they separated us, I don't know about that. I go in there and plead guilty, tell them I don't know nothing. Guilty as charged. Another shoe. I'm like, damn, what the fuck? I ain't getting out this place. Well, that's where they fucked up though. So we in the hole, and they start shooting out homies that were doing indeterminate shoes, homies that were validated and getting kicked out. Well, they're kicking them out and they're leaving them in the hole for like a year, 2 years, when they don't need to be in the hole no more. On top of that, we didn't have no TVs in the system. We didn't have no TVs back there. And there was a few other things that it was just basic things that, you go to other prisons and they have them in the hole, or also the freedom. You get kicked out of the hole, you're not doing a shoe tournament anymore. Why are you stuck in the hole? The hole is a punishment. So are they punishing you on top of a punishment, or punishing you after your punishment is done? How is that? How is that right? How is that keeping to the letter of the law? You can't keep to your own letter of the law, but you want to keep us to your letter. So somebody had threw in my ear one time about a protest. I was telling them about how the way I used to protest and stuff like that, and somebody threw me into my ear one time. I believe it was Chuco from my friends. He threw it into my ear like, man, what if we were just to refuse Sally's one day, man? So that shit stuck with me. So now I get moved in with this dude that's related. You know, he's related. He got Jews. Everybody knows who he is. He got a good name. This motherfucker's cuckoo, crazy. Got the fucking crazy eye. You know, if you know, you know. He got that fucking crazy eye. And so the fool's telling me all the shit that's going on and how these fools are getting stuck. And he's like, man, I just did so much in the shoe, you know. I ain't trying to be stuck here like these homies are stuck here. So I tell him my plan. And my plan is that, so we're in AdSeg. There's a group yard in AdSeg. So my plan is that everybody selling goes out one at a time. So one of us stays in, one of us stays out, and when it's time to bring in, we refuse because we have that right. You know, when you're in the hole, you have to sign a chrono that says that you feel safe moving in with this guy, because you know we're living with killers, you know, or there could be a guy that's in there with 16 months, the drug term, ain't never fucking busted a grape, ain't never hurt nobody in his whole life, and then we got these dudes that got a double, triple fucking murder, you know, they fucking strangled their cellies or shot how many people, you know, so, you know, they have to take some measure of precaution, which is, you know, the signature saying that I feel comfortable moving in with this dude. So it's our right to decide who we move in with and who we don't move in. But as a Southsider, we have the rule where you can't refuse a celly. So the officers take advantage of that, you know, by doing what they want, moving whoever they want, whenever they want, with whoever they want, you know, to keep their numbers at capacity. And so when I tell the homie that, you know, this dude's directly related, so he sends out word. And but before that, the officers come to my door with a paper, and it has his name written on it, and then it has my name written on it, and they have his name like, we know who you are, and then they have my name with question marks like, who are you? Which was the fucking sign that told me like, oh, you know, even if I didn't realize it at the time, the sign that realized that they were on my ass trying to figure out where I was getting my direction from, or what, you know, how was I getting, where was I getting my knowledge from, or permission from, or whatever it was fuck they were looking for. But that was like the biggest clue. They almost told on themselves right there. And so anyways, we devised a plan where we go out to the yard and we split up. We refuse to sell up with our cellies. Now this shit's unheard of because Southsiders can't refuse cellies. So the cops, they don't know what the fuck to do. They're fucking pissed. So what they do, they leave the homies out there, and so we board up because they're leaving them out there overnight. We're telling them, get them some mattresses, some blankets, and we're like, we're not gonna do that. Or all right. So their main count, we boarded up. Say you ain't gonna count if you don't get them some mattresses and some fucking blankets out there now, ASAP, motherfuckers. Woo! They went out there. They didn't want to do it, but they had to do it. Went out there, gave them some motherfucking mattresses, some blankets, and by the next day, they were shooting people out. They didn't bring TVs into the cell, but they brought a TV into the section, and